Good afternoon, everyone. Today I want to talk about vitamin S. What is vitamin S when it comes to your health, when it comes to your mental health, emotional health, your physical health? S is for safety. Now you would be thinking, Luke, what does safety have to do with our health? Everything. One of the deepest, most emotional needs of every human being, from the time you're a baby until the time you're a senior citizen, is safety. How do we feel safe within? I see so many patients, young girls, boys, kids, senior citizens, adults. They have different conditions, diseases, pain, psychosomatic issues. And while they may take their medicines and change their diets, they start to get better when they start to feel safe. Feeling safe is also a psychological human need. If you go back to the Maslow's hierarchy, food, water, clean air, and safety is the number one emotional need for a human being to feel motivated and inspired. In fact, feeling things and emotions like love, gratitude, building your self-esteem is really dependent on how safe you feel as a person. Let me give you an example. Maybe you've gone through a bad relationship, okay? And because of that, your trust is kind of threatened. Now, you may get into a new relationship, but if you've not yet healed, if you no longer feel safe as a person, even though this new relationship may be very good for you and your partner's giving you everything you need, you may not be able to feel it because you still feel unsafe. You will carry all of your trust issues into this relationship and the next relationship because you've not learned to feel safe. It happens with our health as well. Maybe you got diagnosed with a disease, a condition, and now you start to feel unsafe. That's okay in the beginning, but soon we need to change our environment within our minds and in our bodies to start feeling safe. Because only when we start to feel safe can the healing really happen, can the recovery really happen. Look around you today. So many people act out of fear, out of anger, out of frustration. All of this is driven from a loss of control. You feel unsafe. You get some information about something that makes you feel unsafe. And all of your decisions come from a space of not feeling safe. And most of these decisions are usually not the best. Let's go back to a couple of months ago where the disastrous Air India crash happened. This affected almost everyone I know. People were sad, people were scared, people were angry. People's sense of safety got threatened. Some people are taking flights regularly. Their family members are taking flights regularly. But why did this one incident really make people feel so emotional? Because our sense of safety was threatened. That could have been me. That could have been my flight. That could have been my loved one on that flight. And then the human mind is looking for anything and everything to bring a sense of safety back to our minds and our thoughts. So we're constantly on the news trying to find out what was the cause of the crash. Because only when we know the cause of the crash will the human mind start to feel a little safer because there's some closure to it. Okay, that's what happens in relationships too. If you are out of a relationship but you didn't get proper closure, what happens? You continue to feel unsafe. You don't know why your partner broke up with you. You start to think, I did something wrong. Maybe you did, I don't know. You start to feel unsafe. Your self-esteem starts to crash only because you do not feel safe. Now, there are many kinds of safety. There's physical safety, where you live. What time you come home in the night, do you feel safe? Your job space, are you made to feel safe? Or are you getting bullied? Are you getting trolled online? All of this threatens our safety. We have physical safety, we have emotional and mental safety. Imagine being in a relationship where you cannot be your authentic self, where you cannot speak about what you want, you can't be vulnerable, you say something, you're blamed, you say something, people say you're reactive, you're emotional. That starts to make you unsafe because every time you express your emotions, you get hit down in all ways. So you start to suppress emotions because you're fearful to express. That's emotional and mental safety. Those relationships never turn out to be fulfilling for either partner. Or you're working in an organization where it's my way or the highway, you're never allowed to express ideas, etc. You don't feel valued, you feel unsafe. Then we have financial safety, where some people do not feel financially safe because they don't have enough. But it's never about how much you have, because there are a lot of people, billionaires, who feel unsafe. Even though they have billions and billions of dollars, they still feel unsafe. Unsafety is a feeling that comes from within. There may be consequences around us that cause it, like the diagnosis of a disease. Maybe you didn't get a job raise. Maybe your money isn't in line with what your expectations are and what you can afford. But it's finally what you do inside with all of that information. You become a victim to it. Some people see it as a challenge. Some people accept it and decide, I'll figure out a way. And some people just succumb to the fear and anxiety that comes along with it, making us unsafe. Then we have spiritual safety, where we align ourselves with the divine, whether you call him, her God, the spiritual scriptures, a higher power. Some people don't. Some people pray and align and they still feel unsafe because they don't know how to trust. They don't know how to practice faith and belief. And some people thrive with spiritual safety. They just believe that I will be protected. No matter what happens, I will be taken care of. No matter what happens, I will be safe. So, what happens when we feel unsafe? We trigger off the sympathetic nervous system. We're constantly in fight and flight. What's going to happen? What's he going to say? What's she's going to say? Oh, I can't be myself. Am I going to have enough money for the future? You know, all of that is fight and flight. Fight and flight is great for a short period of time. But when it starts to extend more and more, inflammation in the body goes up, your blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, your immune system starts to depress itself because the environment has to be in balance, homeostasis. We're supposed to be sympathetic, parasympathetic, sympathetic, parasympathetic. But we've activated the sympathetic nervous system because we feel unsafe. It could be a thought that makes us feel unsafe. It's not a fact, but it's a thought. For example, I'm not good enough. You keep telling yourself you're not good enough. Now you will feel unsafe because you are telling yourself that you feel that you're not good enough. Oh, I have social anxiety. So every time you go out in society, you have anxiety because you've told yourself that you're unsafe. You got diagnosed with a disease. I understand. But now, that's the problem. What are the action points that you will focus on? But some people spend a lifetime still thinking about the disease. Oh, I have cancer. Oh, I have diabetes. Oh, I have high blood pressure. Feeling more and more unsafe, making the condition worse and worse. But hey, all right, I got this particular disease. I understood. Take a few days. Be angry, be in denial, but then you got to come back to a state of acceptance. Because when you're in a state of resistance, you are only fighting. Resist, resist, resist. Fight and flight response. But all the healing, all the creativity, all the magic, all the repair happens in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is rest, digest, and repair. That is the nervous system that we want to be in most of the time. But if I'm constantly unsafe, sympathetic nervous system. No matter what medicine you take, how clean your nutrition is, how much exercise you do, the internal state of your body is unsafe, sympathetic nervous system, rendering most of your other activities practically useless. So today, let's learn right now, how can I start feeling safe? Some people say that, oh, when my relationship gets better, I'll feel safe. When I get a new job, I'll feel safe. When I lose weight, I'll feel safe. When my disease goes, I'll feel safe. No. The idea is, and the magic is to start feeling safe right now, because that deep emotional need needs to be fulfilled for you to be healed. Try practicing gratitude when you feel unsafe. It's really difficult. It's difficult to be grateful when you're feeling unsafe all the time. So let's get straight to solution mode. How do we start to feel safe? Anything that you want to change in life, first you bring awareness to it. So if I ask all of you to pause right now, pause. Do you feel safe or unsafe in your relationships? Do you feel safe or unsafe at your workplace or in your business? Do you feel safe or unsafe when you're socializing? Do you feel safe or unsafe in your spiritual practice? Do you feel safe or unsafe when it comes to your health? If you're constantly on social media, you're reading about people dying in the gym, dying while running of a heart attack, and all of a sudden, you start to feel unsafe. Someone's story, life experience has made you feel unsafe. And you start to be desperate. Oh no, what should I do? Should I speak to my cardiologist? Maybe I should go to the gym. Hey Luke, I'm going to stop the gym. Too many people are dying. Hey Luke, I'm going to stop running. Too many people are dying. You see, reactions based on fear. No facts. Is everyone dying in the gym for a heart attack? No. Is everyone who runs dying? No. Is everyone with stage 4 cancer dying? No. Is everyone with type 2 diabetes living an entire lifetime with type 2 diabetes? No. They're reversing it. They're putting it in remission. So the point is, the first solution is bring awareness. Where do I feel unsafe? Number 2, why? Why do I feel unsafe? Usually it stems from a lack of action. If I am in an area right now that is making me feel physically unsafe, my next action will determine how I feel. But if I don't take an action and I keep worrying, oh no, I'm living in a place where there are snakes around and scorpions around and stuff. What if I get bitten? What's going to happen? How long will it take me to reach hospital? No action. But if I'm living in the same place and I have an action item, I'm going to be more cautious. I'm going to make sure I don't leave my shoes outside. When I move out in the night, I'm going to take a flashlight. I know where the closest hospital is in case something happens. You have brought action through knowledge and clarity. In fear, there is no clarity. Fear is stories and illusions and very few facts. In your relationship, are you safe or unsafe? Why do you feel unsafe? I want you to break that down. Maybe you're not allowed to express how you feel. Maybe you've got to walk around on eggshells in your relationship. Maybe there's ego, maybe there's pride. I don't know what it is. But for you, regaining that sense of safety is the most important thing for everything else to be felt better. I know so many people, they have everything in life. They have a child, they have money, everything. But they have no joy. They can't feel gratitude for everything they have because they're constantly feeling unsafe, threatened by their own thoughts, words, the actions of other people. So what do we do? Number 1, bring consciousness and awareness. What makes you feel unsafe? Number 2, remember, there are fears and there are facts. What are the facts? What are the facts? Oh, look, my mother-in-law makes my life miserable. Are these all facts? Maybe there's a small part of your life that's made miserable. Maybe the other part is great. But you're making everything sound like it's a problem. So you have a bigger problem in your head. Oh, Luke, I got diagnosed with cancer. Okay, great, I'm sorry. What's our action plan? What can we do? Luke, I've got autoimmune condition. All right, fine, let's understand. I'm going to take at least 20 minutes to explain to you possibilities of you getting the disease, the whys, and then the action plan. The moment you move to action, your fear reduces. The moment you move to action, there is momentum. Things start to move in a particular direction. Most people who are stuck in fear are the ones who are not taking actions. They're just feeding and feeding and feeding their fears more and more, building illusions and stories that may never come true. So again, first, facts. Is this a fact? Is it a fact that everyone dies with cancer? Is it a fact that everyone lives an entire life with type 2 diabetes? Is it a fact that your first job has to be the only job that gives you happiness? Is it a fact that your first relationship has to be the best relationship? Break these mindsets in your brain to feel more peaceful. Because too many of us have so many expectations that life has to be in this way. This partner has to behave this way. No one can say this. No one can do this. These are our rules that we put, but the universe doesn't care about what you think and what you want. Every moment will fold and unfold in your life the way it is designed to be. You can resist, you can accept, you can like, you can dislike, but life will go on. So how are you going to navigate yourself through this? Become a victim, complain, whine, blame the world? Or what actions can I take? What choices can I make to change the outcome of my life, given the fact that there are some things going wrong and maybe many things going right? So we have to understand safety. The third, affirmations. I may be going into a stressful meeting, but I keep telling myself, hey, no matter what, I'm safe. Things are going to be fine. Okay, it may be an ugly meeting, but I'm safe. Every night before you sleep, affirm, I am safe. I'm going to sleep. Most people can't sleep at night because they feel unsafe. Some financial safety issue, relationship, health, whatever. Their mind is unsafe. The human body cannot sleep if it feels unsafe. For your own protection, evolution. Before you go to sleep, your eyes, every part of your brain is scanning your surroundings to see, is this a safe place for me to sleep? We're still wired with evolution. Is there any harm going to happen? Imagine you sleeping in your bedroom tonight, and tomorrow night I'm going to put you out in the wild to sleep. Okay, you're going to have two totally different outcomes, even though you're tired. Because outside it's a new place. Oh, am I going to be safe? Your body will rightfully protect you. So it is so important for us to understand safety is evolutionary. It's the deepest emotional need. When patients come to us, the first thing that we're trying to find out is where in their life do they feel unsafe? Because we can give them the best nutrition, exercise, sleep, manage the side effects of their medicines. But that environment within is so powerful. That is the intelligence of your body. You keep the environment right, the intelligence works for you. You mess up the environment, your body works against you. So affirmations. Oh no, I'm in this relationship or whatever, but I feel safe. No matter what, I'm fine. That's what spirituality teaches us. No matter what, trust that you will be fine. Trust the process of life. That's the only thing we can do. If we're not trusting the process of life, what are we doing? We're trying to control everything. Everything, which is out of control. We can't control anyone or anything. So the point is, we want to move from trying to control to trusting the process of life, which doesn't mean doing nothing. You focus on the actions that are within your control, the actions that you should take. So today, if you want to feel safe, what boundaries do you need to draw? In your relationships, business, work, with yourself, with your friends, that's protective, that helps you to feel safe. Look around, do you have some connections, relationships in life that make you feel safe? Something goes wrong, you can talk to your mom, your dad, your partner. Everyone should have one or two or three of those people, or even just one is fine. But you always know, that person got my back. That person got my back. Always remember, what does a baby look for? Safety. They'll constantly look for safety. And you as an adult and even as a senior citizen, you may say, oh, I'm an adult now, I don't care. But you deeply do care about your safety and everything else. So the whole point is understanding the deepest emotional need is safety. And I want all of you today to do some homework. Where am I feeling unsafe? And how can I start to feel safe? You know, I was in Dubai a couple of weeks ago, and I was with a very special person who was counseling children who were stuck or just moved out of Gaza or Palestine and who were born in extreme war conditions, all right, with a feeling of unsafety around them all the time, 24/7. And our conversation was, how do we make people like this feel safe? And there's only one way that they can. No motivational talks, no pep talks. They align with a higher power. They wake up every day with faith and belief that I will be protected. That's their only peace. Many of them die, many of them don't. But they align with a higher power to feel safe, because there is no safety coming from anywhere else. So I want you today as your homework to look around. How can I feel safe? What are the measures in life I can bring into my life that makes me feel safe? What do I need to exit in life to feel safer? Because when your environment changes around you, your environment within you changes. When your environment within you changes, all the healing happens. I hope all of you had a beautiful Diwali, and I look forward to going live with you soon again. If you have any questions, please post them down, and I'll be happy to get back to you and answer as many of them as I can.